Welcome everyone. The topic for today is the 10 most shocking Christians in the world history. You will want to stay for the entire list, I promise. Geral MoSavan Rola. In the golden age of Florence, where the Medici family flaunted their patronage of the arts, Girolamo Savonarola, a Dominican friar, rose to prominence with a starkly different message. His sermons thundered against the moral corruption of the clergy and the extravagant lifestyles of the elite, finding an eager audience among the disenfranchised and the pious. Savonarola's influence led to the establishment of a brief theocratic government in Florence, during which he implemented a rigorous moral code. The bonfire of the vanities became a symbol of his campaign against decadence, as priceless artworks, books, and cosmetics were consumed by flames. However, his uncompromising stance would eventually alienate his supporters, and his fall was as precipitous as his rise. Captured and convicted of heresy, Savonarola met his end in the very square where he had incited the destruction of others' vanities, burned at the stake, leaving behind a complex legacy that continues to be debated by historians and theologians alike. Joan of Arc. Joan of Arc's tale begins in the pastoral village of Domremy, where she experienced visions of saints commanding her to support Charles V and recover France from English domination. Despite her peasant status and lack of military experience, Joan convinced the Dauphin of her divine mission, and she was outfitted with armor and troops. Her presence revitalized the French forces, leading to the pivotal lifting of the Siege of Orleans. Joan's subsequent capture by the Burgundians, sale to the English, and trial for heresy and witchcraft culminated in her execution by fire. However, her death only amplified her legend, and she was later canonized as a saint. Joan's story is a poignant narrative of faith, nationalism, and the extraordinary impact one individual can have on the course of history. Thomas Müntzer. Thomas Müntzer, a contemporary of Martin Luther, became a fervent voice for radical change during the Reformation. Unlike Luther, Müntzer took a more extreme position, advocating for the violent overthrow of the feudal system and the establishment of a new order. Based on his interpretation of Christian egalitarianism, he became a leader of the Peasants' War, rallying the dispossessed with sermons that fused apocalyptic prophecy with calls to arms. Müntzer's defeat and execution did not just signify the quelling of a rebellion, but also highlighted the enduring conflict between radical and moderate forces of reform. His legacy is a testament to the enduring power of revolutionary ideology and the complex interplay between religious belief and political action, and the risks inherent in challenging entrenched power structures. Anley Lee, an Englishwoman who became the charismatic leader of the Shakers, is a figure of profound religious innovation and social reform. After a difficult upbringing and a series of visions, she led her small band of followers to America in 1774, seeking religious freedom. Under her guidance, the Shakers flourished, establishing numerous communities that practiced equality of the sexes, celibacy, and communal ownership of property. Their worship services, characterized by ecstatic dancing and shaking, were a physical manifestation of their belief in shaking off sin and preparing for Christ's second coming. Despite the Shakers' dwindling numbers, their legacy of craftsmanship, pacifism, and communal living endures, a testament to Lee's visionary leadership. Pat Robertson. Pat Robertson is a figure who has left an indelible mark on American religious and political landscapes. As the founder of the Christian Broadcasting Network, CBN, Robertson utilized television as a platform to disseminate his evangelical Christian views, reaching an audience of millions. His bid for the Republican presidential nomination in 1988 was a bold attempt to translate religious influence into political power. Robertson's comments on various natural disasters and political events have often been controversial, sparking debate and criticism. His advocacy for conservative Christian values has had a significant impact on American politics, particularly in mobilizing the Christian right. Simon Magus. Simon Magus, often dubbed the father of heresies, emerges from the shadows of early Christian history as a figure of controversy and intrigue. His story, as told in the Acts of the Apostles and by church fathers, paints him as a sorcerer with a god complex, seeking to buy spiritual power, a sin that would be named simony after him. His clash with the Apostle Peter is legendary, representing the conflict between true faith and false prophets. Simon's purported ability to levitate and perform miracles made him an enigmatic figure to the early Christians, a symbol of the dangers lurking. When personal ambition and supernatural claims mix, his life, shrouded in myth, challenges us to discern the line between faith and manipulation, between the divine and the diabolical. His role in the rise of the Christian right has been significant, demonstrating the power of media in modern evangelism and the complex relationship between religious belief and political engagement. Simon's narrative, blending history and legend, challenges us to consider the complexities of spiritual authority and the seductive allure of power. Aimee Semple McPherson. Aimee Semple McPherson's life was a blend of the sacred and the spectacular, marked by the rise of Pentecostalism and the glamour of Golden Age Hollywood. She founded the Foursquare Church and built the Angelus Temple, where she preached to thousands using stagecraft and radio to spread her message. Her illustrated sermons, healing services, and faith-based theatrical productions made her a religious celebrity. However, her career was not without scandal. Her mysterious disappearance in 1926, purportedly to escape the burdens of her ministry or an unhappy marriage, and her subsequent return sparked a media frenzy and skepticism. McPherson's life story is a study in the power of charisma and the pressures of public life, offering a window into the complex dynamics of faith, fame, and personal struggle. Through her trials and triumphs, Sister Aimee's story encapsulates the challenges of being a female religious leader in a male-dominated society and the enduring scrutiny faced by public figures. Jim Jones. Jim Jones started his journey as a charismatic leader advocating for racial integration and social justice, founding the People's Temple as a progressive social movement. However, his utopian vision became increasingly authoritarian and paranoid. The temple's relocation to Jonestown, Guyana, was meant to create a socialist paradise, but it turned into a prison camp where dissent was met with severe punishment. The tragic end came with a mass suicide murder, claiming over 900 lives, orchestrated by Jones, who convinced his followers to drink poison-laced punch. The Jonestown massacre stands as one of the most harrowing examples of the potential for a religious movement to devolve into deadly fanaticism, raising questions about the nature of control and the vulnerability of the human psyche. The legacy of Jonestown continues to provoke discussions on the nature of cults, the psychology of leadership, and the desperate need for belonging that can drive individuals to forsake all reason. David Koresh. David Koresh, born Vernon Wayne Howell, became the leader of the Branch Davidians by casting himself as a prophet with a direct line to God. Under his guidance, the group's compound in Waco, Texas, became the center of a biblical interpretation that predicted an imminent apocalyptic confrontation. The 1993 siege by the ATF and subsequent FBI standoff was precipitated by allegations of illegal weapons and child abuse. The 51-day siege ended in tragedy when the compound was engulfed in flames, leading to the deaths of Koresh and 76 of his followers. The Waco siege remains a deeply controversial event, raising issues about religious freedom, governmental authority, and the potential for violence under the guise of faith. The Waco incident remains a focal point for debates on religious extremism and the complexities of managing confrontations with such groups. If you want to learn more, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Until next time.